introduction about Hadoop. Okay, so now before discussing the HDFS, we are having one more file system called as Google File System. That is called as GFS. That is called as the GFS. The Google File System is also helpful to working with the big data. So uh, the Google file system can also use to work with the big data, but it is having some drawbacks. Okay, so to overcome the drawback, we are using the Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so here one key point you have to remember is the Hadoop. Uh, I think you also an introduction. The Hadoop mainly invented by the scientist called as dog cutting. Okay, uh, dog cutting. Okay, so he is the person to invented the Hadoop open source framework. Okay, there is some history also, the dog cutting. Uh, he's not a single person to developing Hadoop open source framework. Okay, so dog cutting with his team, along with his team developing the Hadoop framework. Okay, so Hadoop framework. Okay, at developed by the Yahoo. Okay, so dog cutting developed by the Yahoo with dog cutting and his team. Clear? So and also when we are when the dog cutting and his team are developing the Hadoop open source framework, the base uh, the base architecture they are using the Google file system. The base architecture they are using the Google file system. That means GFS. Okay. So from by using the GFS, they can try to developing the HDFS. The base architecture they are using the Google file system. So by taking the Google file system architecture, they are developing the HDFS. Clear? Just like a base paper. That means to developing HDFS, they are taking the help of the Google file system. Clear? So now the Google file system can be developed by the Google itself only. Clear? So now before discussing the HDFS, first we have to discussing the Google file system architecture, how it can work, okay, what is advantage of Google file system and what are drawbacks of Google file system. Then you go for the uh, Hadoop distributed file system. Hadoop distributed file system. Yeah. So here one more thing is when we are seeing the Hadoop textbooks, some things are also if you're seeing the logo of Hadoop, we're having the symbol called as elephant. Okay. So we're having a symbol called as elephant. Okay. This is also one story why they are keeping why they are keeping the elephant symbol to the Hadoop logo is when the dog cutting can thinking about the logo for this Hadoop framework. His son, I think he's maybe 1 year old or less than 1 year old. His son is playing with the doll with elephant, the doll with the elephant. That's why. So at the time, he can thinking, he can thinks to keep the logo as the elephant. That is the only reason why he kept the elephant logo in the to the Hadoop. Clear? So his son playing with the kid named called as elephant at the time of the dog cutting thinking. That's when directly the dog cutting kept the logo for Hadoop is the elephant. Okay, so that is the reason the elephant logo is for Hadoop. But so many persons are thinking why the logo is elephant is the Hadoop is mainly used for big data like a big. That's why he's keeping the logo as elephant. But that's not the actual reason. Okay, the reason behind that keeping the elephant is this only. Okay. So now coming back to GFS and HDFS, Google File System and Hadoop Distributed File System. Now, first we are discussing the Google File System. Okay. So we later on discussing some of the advantage of Hadoop we're having in these lectures, discussing the advantage of Hadoop. Okay, then we go for HDFS. Okay. So coming back to the Google file system, is it visible to everyone? So Vasudha or Dharni, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Visible,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Is it audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now coming back to Google file system. Okay. So now the main is scalable distributed file system for large distributed data intensive. Okay. So the main purpose is scalable distributed file system for large distributed intensive. Okay, so the meaning is scalable distributed file system. Okay, so distributed file system means let's say I can take as example. So as of now, we are thinking the Hadoop is mainly for processing and storing huge amount of data. The huge amount of data may be a terabytes of data, or exabytes of data. Okay, so sometimes we are having the that is assuming as terabytes of data. So that terabytes of data, I am having the some thousand systems. Each system maybe capacity of maybe some terabytes of data. So I want storing the terabytes of data. In the terabytes of data may not be possible. Then what I can do is I can try to distributing these terabytes of data into some set of terabytes of data system configurations. That is distributed file system. That means we can try to distribute our data, or we can try to distributing our terabytes of data in some number of the systems. That means if you take some 5 systems in the network, I can try to distributing our some 1 terabyte of data into the 5 systems of the network. That is called as distributed file system. The scalable means even the data is increased, even the data may be the increase. For example, initially I am having the 1 terabytes of data. Later on, I can try to increase the data into some 2 terabytes of data. 2 terabytes of data. So even though the data size is increased, the system performance cannot be decreased. So it may be the application may work for maybe some 1 terabytes of data. The same way also the application should be works for 2 terabytes of data. That means even though the data is increased, the system performance cannot be decreased. That's it called as scalable distributed file system. It may be work for the scalable data also on the distributed file system. Clear? We are called as a Hadoop. Large amount of data. That large amount of data we have to maintain a system. Okay, that may be a scalable distributed file system. Scalable distributed file system. So now GFS is also works for scalable distributed file system for large distributed data intensive. That is the simple purpose of the Google file system. Okay, it provides the fault tolerance. That is I am discussing. That what do you know the meaning of fault tolerance? So I think you're all the fault tolerance. The meaning of the fault tolerance means, let's take as I can take as distributed file system. That means the distributed file system means we are having a network with some set of systems. For example, I'm having the 10 systems in the network. We're having the 10 systems in the network. So I am having some 10 terabytes of data. 10 terabytes of data. So what I can do is this 10 terabytes of data I am distributed to 10 systems. I'm distributed to how many systems? 10 systems. Okay. So now if I am distributing this 10 terabytes data to 10 systems, the fault tolerance means, so once if I storing this 10 terabytes data to 10 systems at any point of time, maybe some due to some server busy or some network failure, something that is assuming as system maybe some number 5 is crashed. Yeah. So, for example, system is crashed. Okay. For example, system 5 is crashed. So, if in the network at any point of time, if any system is crashed, then the network performance or the application performance cannot be degraded. That is called as the fault tolerance. This system work can be shared by the remaining systems in the network. The remaining systems in the network. For example, the system 5 is crashed. Which work is carrying by the system 5 immediately the remaining 9 systems can share the work can be assigned to the system 5. Okay, that is the beauty of the Hadoop, maybe the beauty of the Google file system. It can also highly accept the fault tolerance also. The fault tolerance means even though if you are distributing the data into the number of systems in the network, even though if any system is crashed or if even if any system is failure, the system work can be shared by the all the systems in the network. You may get a doubt, sir, how the remaining systems can know the particular system is failure. Okay, so for that reason, we are having one more concept we are discussing in the HDFS architecture. Here, you may get a doubt, sir, how the remaining systems can know the system 5 is failure. Okay, so how the remaining systems can be shared, these crash systems works. Okay, even though all these can be maintained by the one more component that we are discussing in the HDFS. Is it clear? So the GFS can also using the concept of fault tolerance. Here, what I am discussing some of the key points. The advantage GFS that may also support by the Hadoop distributed file system. That is also supported by the Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, it provides fault tolerance while running on inexpensive commodity hardware. We're all discussing the meaning of commodity hardware. Okay, and it delivers high aggregate performance to a large amount of clients. High aggregated performance to large amount of clients. So how we can say it can deliver how we can say it delivers high aggregate performance or large number of clients. So high aggregate performance means it can support the parallel programming. So when the it supports the parallel programming, definitely the performance is more than compared to the normal traditional systems. Clear? So what do you mean the parallel programming? So again, you are discussing in the HDFS. Clear? So these are some of the advantages of Google file systems. Clear? So now coming back to the
When it comes to the second drive, let me open that. When it
fine. Okay. This is the GFS architecture. So once you have to remember, if you're having it, if you're having a habit to write running notes, just kindly note this architecture. So what I have to tell is in Unit 2, mainly we having three concepts. Okay, one thing is four concepts. One thing is GFS, HDFS, Hadoop, installing installing Hadoop architecture, installing Hadoop. These are the four concepts. Okay, so in each and every set, you may getting any question from these four concepts only. They will asking the GFS architecture, they may asking the HDFS architecture, they may asking Hadoop architecture, or they may asking the installing the Hadoop. Okay, so again, one more key point is why I have to say note down this architecture means the GFS architecture is almost similar to the Hadoop HDFS architecture, HDFS architecture. So what we are having in the what type of components we are having in the Google file system architecture, the same type of similar way. The diagram is also having the similar way in the HDFS architecture. Okay, that's why first you have to note down this architecture if you're having habit to write the running notes. Okay, so now so if you can see this diagram, so mainly it is having three parts. Okay, if you're dividing this architecture into a number of the parts, mainly it has some three graph or three parts. So I can categorize as maybe this may be the one part. Clear? So this may be some another part. Clear? So this may be some another part. This may be some another part. Okay. So now if you can, these are three parts. So now in these three parts, once if you can see, GFS means Google File System. Google File System. Clear? So now if you can see in each and every block we are having some symbols just like a databases. Just like a databases. So what indicates? What is the main purpose of GFS? The main purpose of GFS is for storing the data. For storing the data. Google File System. It is used for storing the large amount of data. Clear? So now we are stored in some databases. You have to store the data. Okay. Just like also that means in the entire architecture. So these are the locations for storing our actual data. Okay, that means the GFS chunk server, at the GFS chunk server, the actual data is stored. Okay, so now what we're having, GFS client, GFS master, GFS chunk server. Okay, so once if we can categorize the GFS, okay, it is having the first one is called as GFS client, okay, the second is called as GFS master. Clear? The first is called as the GFS chunk server. GFS chunk server. Okay, so with GFS client, which person wants to store the data, that is called a GFS client. For example, I want to store the data into the some GFS, I may be the client. Okay, so GFS master, once I want to store the data, okay, so just I have to give in some command, I just given some little bit of script for storing the data, for storing our actual data. So once the client given a script or once the client given a some command to store the data, okay, so where the data is stored, the data is stored at the GFS chunk server. The data is stored at GFS chunk server. Clear? So once if you can see in the architecture, the GFS chunk server is having some database. That means the GFS chunks at the GFS chunk servers, the data is stored. Clear? So now here we can see we are having one GFS master, we are having one GFS client, we are having the GFS chunk server, sir, 1, 2, and more than, and etc. That means we are having any number of the chunk servers. Okay, so don't confuse here. The chunk is similar to the word we can call it as a block. The word we can call it as a block. Okay, so in GFS we can call it as a chunk. Okay, the chunk we can call it as a, what we call it as a block. Okay, chunk server. Okay, chunks. Okay, so similarly we can call it as a some block. Okay, so just like, okay, we can also call it as a block in our normal discussions. Okay, at the GFS chunk servers, actual data is stored. So now the GFS client given a particular script or a particular command to store our actual data. Okay, the actual data is stored at the GFS chunk servers. Okay, we may having the more any number of GFS chunk servers. The number of chunk servers again having some concept we're discussing later. Okay, so at the GFS chunk servers, the data is stored. Okay, Okay, so now what is the purpose of GFS master? So once if you can see, actually the application, the GFS client given command, maybe some file name, chunk index, the file name of, okay, so I want given, I want to store abs dot some txt, okay, and I'm given some, what I want to store at some index something I want to store. So that is I want to given by the application or GFS client. Once I am given the some specific command or some script to store my data by GFS client, it initially the request is initially sent to GFS master. There, so once the GFS client send a request or send some command or some script, okay, to store our actual data, that initially sent to which one? That initially goes back to which one? GFS master. GFS master. Okay. So what GFS master can do is the GFS master can having the responsibility where we have to store the file. That means actually the file, let's take as, for example, let's take as, I can take as from 256 MB, the file says 256 MB of data. MB of data. Okay. I think MB of data is a file. Okay, that file is called as the file is 250 MB of data. This that assume each chunk size, let's take as 64 MB. As the chunks only, the data is stored in the at the chunks, like chunks only, the data is stored at the chunk server. That assume the chunk size is 64 MB. The actual file is 256 MB. That means this can be divided into how many chunks? 4 chunks. Divided into 4 chunks. That means the actual file is 256 MB. That is not directly stored as a 256 MB. What can do is it can divide the actual file into some number of the chunks. Why? Because it supports the distributed file system. That means we have to dividing the data into a number of chunks, and the group of chunks and single chunk, a group of chunks or some set of chunks can be maintained at a particular chunk server. Okay, that means the entire data cannot be stored at the different chunk servers. By dividing the file data into some number of chunks as a set of chunks, the data is stored at the chunk servers. Okay, so that is actual concept. Okay, so now the GFS master can take the responsibility of dividing the data into some number of the chunks. Okay, so now for example, let's take as we are having the in this example, the 256 MB, I have divided how many chunks? 4 chunks. That means chunk 0 and chunk 1, chunk 2, and chunk 3. Chunk 1, chunk 2, chunk 3. Now I want to store these. I want to store these 4 chunks into 2 chunk servers. That is 2 chunk servers. That means each and every chunk servers contains how many chunks? 2 chunks. Okay, maybe some chunk server 0 may contain, okay, maybe some chunk 0 and chunk 1. Maybe some chunk server 1. Chunk server 1 may store ch, maybe some 2, ch3. So why I am discussing this concept. Okay, if you understand this one, you can easily understand HDFS. Okay, and you can easily write the solutions. Okay, so how how the mathematics programming is actually running in the background, you can getting an idea if you understand this concept. Okay, so two chunk servers. Okay, so each chunk server can maintain the two chunks. Clear? So maybe some chunk server 0 maintains chunk 0 and chunk 1. Server 1 may maintain chunks 2 and chunk 3. Clear? So now that means dividing. So let's see. Okay, why I'm discussing this one is the chunk server, the GFS master is responsible to dividing the data into the number of the chunks. Okay, and what is the location of each and every chunk? Okay, location of chunk 0, location of chunk 1, location of chunk 2, location of chunk 3. Okay, so and what is the location of each and every chunks? The entire responsibility can be taken by the GFS master. The GFS master. Clear? Let's take as the GFS master. Okay, this is GFS master. Some hierarchy. What hierarchy represents? What is the exact location of? What are the exact location of each and every chunk? Each and every chunk. What is location? Maybe the location may be first. We're having the chunk server that can go back to chunk server 0. Then go back to which one? Which one? Chunk server 0. That means chunk server chunks 2. Maybe some which one? Chunk server 0 and then go back to one having the chunk 0. This is some hierarchy of chunk 0. Part of which one? Chunk 0. Just like chunk 1, chunk 2. This is some hierarchy. This is some hierarchy. Just that's why we're having some tree structure at the file name space. File name space. That means once if you're getting the request from the application, the GFS master act as a master. It can maintain the metadata about the data. The GFS master maintains the metadata about the data. That means the GFS master maintains the data about the file. The file may be something contains some data. That's why you can call it as a metadata. So what type of metadata it can contain? What the location of the file name? What is the how many chunks it can be divided? And what the location of each and every chunk? One day, okay. And what is the what is the performance each and every chunk at the chunk servers? Okay, so at entire information about each and every chunk or the file name can be mounted by the GFS master. So once it comes to GFS master, the instructions to chunk server, okay, what is state of chunk servers and entire thing, instruction given to chunk servers, and the chunk server state is again given send back to which one? GFS master. For example, I have to store a chunk server 0, I have to store chunk 0 to chunk server 1. Maybe at that time, maybe busy or maybe idle. That type of state can be sent back to which one? GFS master. So when GFS master tries to assigning a particular chunk to chunk server, at that time the state may be busy. Then the master can try to assign the same chunk to some another server. So that type of state can be sent back to which one? GFS master. The GFS master. Okay. So likewise, we have to send request to GFS master. The GFS master takes responsibility to dividing into chunks, assigning the chunks, take the state of the chunk server. Okay, so at the entire thing can went to GFS master, and then finally given the chunk data to which one? GFS client. GFS client. Okay, this is the actual architecture of GFS Google File System architecture. Okay, so this is data messages and control messages. It means everything can be controlled which one? GFS master. Okay. So this is about the GFS architecture. So in easy way, I can try to explain this GFS architecture. Okay, in technically. Okay, so the GFS master, GFS chunk servers. Okay, chunk means we're all think also we're discussing in again. So can you understanding how the GFS architecture works? Kindly respond. Someone is understanding or not? Can understanding or not?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir.
It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is one of the most important concepts. Why? Because when you are facing in interviews, okay, first what the base is GFS architecture, then they are asking the Hadoop distributed file system. If you understand GFS, then you can easily understand HDFS and also Hadoop architecture. Okay, that is GFS client, GFS master, and GFS chunk server. Clear? So now that is the actual the architecture of Google file system. Google file system. Okay. Chunk size. Okay. What do you mean of chunk size? What do you mean of chunk? Dividing that into the number of the chunks. Every chunk size is how much? 64 MB. Clear? So we have only the single master. The master responsibility is monitoring the different chunk servers. Okay. It is maintain the metadata. So the metadata can be meant which one? So meta stores three major types of metadata: the file, chunk namespace, mapping from files to chunks. We're all discussing this one. Metadata contains what is the file name? Okay, the chunk file and chunk namespace, what are the file path and chunk path, and mapping that files to which one? Specific chunks and location of each chunk replicas. Each chunk replicas. Okay, so here replicas means file denotes the number of chunks and then stored in the chunks, and each and every chunk maintained as a replicas. Replicas means duplicated chunks. Duplicated chunks. Clear? So duplicated. Why we have to maintain the replicas? The simple why we have to maintain the replicas. Okay, the simple way to maintain the replicas is here. Let's take this example. Let's take as server 0, chunk server 0 maintains chunk 0, chunk 1 maintains chunk 2 and chunk 3. For example, it is not maintaining any which one replicas. Let us assume chunk server 0 maintains 0, 1 and also 2. Let us assume. Okay. It also maintains chunk 0. Let's take as it's better to take let's take as one more server. Let's take as easy to understand. Okay, maybe some server 2. Let's take as it can maintains 0, 0, 0, 3. Okay. So ch1 0 contains at server 0 and server 1. 1 maintains at server 0 and server 2. 2 maintains server 1 and server 2. 3 maintains server 0 and server 1. That means what is the replicas count here? Replicas count is how much? 2. That means each and every chunk is having how many copies? 2 copies. Okay, so as like in Google file system also, we have to maintain each and every chunk as replicas. So why? Because we can also discuss in the later fault tolerance. Fault tolerance. Okay, if any system is failure, let's say for example server 0 is failure. Server 0 is chunk server is failure. The same data we are also having at which one? At server 1 and server 2. Why? Because we have to maintain the replicas. 0 is having at 0, 1, 3 is also having at which one? Server 1 and server 2. That means if at any point of time a particular chunk server is crashes, the same data is also having at the remaining some other servers. So that's why it's not difficulty to take the same data from the different servers. If at any point of time your server 0 is failure, okay, so the performance cannot be degraded. Why? Because the same data is also having at server 1 and server 2. So both two servers can be take the responsibility and take that ch0, 1, 3 by the server 1 and server 2 and then starts its working. If at any point of time server 0 is failure, the same copy is also available at another servers. That's why that is the advantage of replicas. Advantage of replicas. The replica advantage is if the particular copy server is failure, the same copy is also available at the server and the server. That's why by taking the server, the application is running. That is the maintaining of the replicas. Okay. In Hadoop, by default, replicas is how much is 3. That means each and every chunk or block can be having the three duplicate copies. Clear? That is about the replicas. Okay. So we have to maintain the chunks as a replicas also, as a duplicate copies also. Because at any point of time, the particular copy is failure, then we have to take the another copy. To work with the particular application. Okay, so that is the main architecture of Google file system. I hope everyone is understanding Google GFS architecture. In the next session, I have discussing advantages. Then I have to introducing the what is called. Next, we have discussing the Hadoop distributed file system.